Hello and welcome out to this month's Social Squad Masterclass training. My name is Danielle Welch and I am your social media coach, and I am excited to dive into today's masterclass where we are going to be talking about my three-step system to creating an entire month's worth of social media content in less than 5 hours a month. As I said, I'm your coach. I'm Danielle Welch, and I want to kind of give you a little bit of background on me in case this is your first time tuning in to one of my masterclass trainings, or you're new to Social Squad, my monthly membership program for local small businesses and online entrepreneurs who are looking for that just extra bit of support as they are managing this world of social media marketing by themselves for their own business. So a little bit about me. I am a wife of 9 years, a mother of 3. At this time, I have a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn baby who will probably be making her own appearance in the training right now. Actually, she's giving me the cue. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, as you can tell, but I am an entrepreneur and I am a business owner. And so I have been in the industry of social media marketing and advertising since 2014, had a corporate career, and then in 2018 decided to start my own social media marketing agency and website design company. Within the first year, we transitioned to being primarily social media marketing, and now I do coaching for small businesses, as well as I am a business coach for other social media marketers as well. So that's my background. As I mentioned, baby is joining us today and she is a little extra needy. I'm going to run and get her passy and then we are going to get started. Okay, I'm back. As we get started here, as I mentioned, for those of you who are watching with me live, first of all, thank you for extending me some grace and having this situation. But like I mentioned, I just went live on my Instagram or posted a thing on Instagram, and I just said, this is figuring it out. This is entrepreneurship. This is being a mompreneur. This is being a stay-at-home mom and having a business, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's like this goes against everything probably in the industry where you got to be a professional and all of those things, and I do believe you need to be professional in your work, but at the same time, I'm a mom first, and you have things in your life that come first, right before your business. And so being a mom and making sure this baby is happy is my first priority. And she's only 5 weeks old. No, not even that. She's 4.5 weeks old and she's not on a sleep schedule yet. So we just figure things out. So anyways, again, welcome out to today's masterclass. So we are going to dive into talking about the 3-step system that you can begin to implement into your business so that you can create an entire month's worth of content in under 5 hours a month. And I know that's a bold statement, right? It's like, wow, 30 days worth of content can be created in 5 hours. And using the system that I'm going to walk you through today, it can. Now, it may take you time to get down to that 5-hour mark or less, but it is possible. And that just means that, when you begin to learn a new skill, it takes time for it to become like second nature to you, or for you to get into a rhythm, right? So as you're beginning to learn this system, and you're learning the different aspects of it and you're developing these skills, it may take you 7 or 8 hours, maybe 10 hours to get all of your month's content created, especially if you're new in creating your own graphics, right? Or writing captions is a new skill for you. But as time goes on and you continue to work this system, you'll be able to see you become more skilled in those different tasks and your work becomes more efficient. And so you're going to see the time that you have to invest into creating your own content becomes less and less and less. So I want to give you the tools to empower you to do more social media content. This system should create an opportunity for you to have, peace around the content that you're creating for you and your business. I desire for you to walk away from this training with having action steps that feel attainable, feeling like I can do this. I certainly don't want you to leave this training feeling like you're now overwhelmed with a bunch of information. Like, you're going to have homework, you're going to have action steps. You invested time and money to be here today. So make sure that you're going to be the one that decides if you're going to have a return on this investment by taking the action that is necessary to do the thing, right? One of my mentors talks all the time about do the thing and you'll have the power, right? And when you do the thing, and the thing in this is working this system, working this 3-step system to creating your content, when you do the thing, you will have the power. You will have confidence in what it is that you are doing. You will believe in your message. You will have the power to create content at will and draw in ready to buy clients and customers. And so, kind of a little bit of background and history on where the 3-step system came from. Okay. So when I first started my social media agency, I was doing website design and social media marketing, which I would categorize social media marketing as I was creating captions and graphics, doing hashtag research. I was creating all of that content for clients, and then I was scheduling it out on their behalf to go to their social media platforms. So I'd also manage and monitor their profiles to make sure that they, like their accounts were staying up to date, or I didn't do a lot of like engagement or responding to followers or comments or things. It was primarily content creation. But if anything came up, I would let the business owner know or their receptionist know, like, hey, you got a message, you need to respond to that. So I was doing the website design and social media management. And when I started doing all of that, it was the late fall, beginning of winter, 2018. I was 6 months pregnant with our second daughter, Selah, and I had just transitioned from my day job, which was at a marketing agency, to running this business. And I was working 40 hours a week there, and then transitioning into owning my agency. Found myself working 40 hours a week again. And that wasn't really the plan. Like, you want to work for yourself and become your own boss, but you certainly, I certainly didn't want to have to do it full time. But I found myself, working full time in my own business. And I was able to manage it. Our oldest at the time was going to a Montessori school. I was still just pregnant. So whilst my oldest was at school, I was at home able to work just with a big old belly. Right. And but when she was born, and I took a couple of weeks off, and then I started kind of getting back into, working a little bit more. I actually onboarded like 3 or 4 new clients the month after Selah was born in 2019. And then in April, so Selah was born in February of 2019. And then by April, I had over $10,000 in revenue on the books between website designs and then the clients that I was managing for social media. And I had like 8 or 9 clients at the time. Active clients creating content on a regular basis. So awesome month financially, right? But I probably worked 40 to 50 hours a week, sometimes late into the night after the girls went to sleep, to create that type of income. And I was 6 to 8 weeks postpartum, and I was like, cannot do this. That's not sustainable. Never want to do that again. Right. And so I began to study and I began to think about what can I do in my business to get some of my time back? Where do I spend the most time? And the most time I spent was creating content every day for my clients. And I was creating content kind of at will for all 8 to 9 of my clients. There wasn't a whole lot of structure to, you know, planning things out and having things done ahead of time. It was kind of more in the moment, or, okay, it's Wednesday, I need to post for this client, this client, this client, and having to sit down and go and create all of that content all at one time for 7 or 8 different clients, right? And that's very, very time consuming. It's very time consuming. And that's where all of my time was going. I would say 80% of my time was going to creating content on the day that I was working. And then the other 20% of the time was admin stuff or working on any website projects that I had going on. So time was an issue in my business. Now, as a social media marketer and a manager, you and your business may not relate to what I do specifically. Maybe you do. Maybe you yourself have a social media marketing business, right? Or you're starting one, or you've been doing it a while. You know, your type of business may be different, but the principle of the matter is we all have things in our business that are taking up a lot of our time, or that we need to give more of our time to, right? And we don't need for social media to be the thing that is sucking all of our available time away from us and away from other aspects of our business. We don't need it to be if there's a way to make it not. Does that make sense? If we have the ability to decrease our time that we're investing into creating content, why not do that, right? Well, that's where the system came into place. I began to look at all of my different clients, all of the content that needed to be created, and I said, there's got to be a way to have structure in a system in place. I am an Excel spreadsheet lover. I love planning things. I love organizing. Like organizing that type of stuff, like, and in my home, I like organizing. I don't like organizing events, like don't like that at all, but I like organizing and structure and processes. And so I began to map out, okay, if I just take all of my clients, right, and I just have a planning session and I just sit down and I plan out what they all need for the month. I don't create anything, but I just grab a piece of paper, and I grabbed a piece of paper and I made like a calendar, and then I photocopied that so I could have one for each of my clients. And I planned out, okay, this client needs to have posts on this day, this day, this day, this day, da, da, da. And I went through the whole calendar and I was like, okay, those are the days of the month that I need to have posts go out. Okay, what should I put on those days? Okay, let's think about that. Okay, this day I'm going to have an educational post and I'm going to educate the audience on the products or services that my client has. This day I'm going to do something that's more fun, uplifting, engagement type of post, something that's kind of business related, but more so feel good stuff, or a way to not promote or sell, but to kind of relate to the audience. We call that an engagement post. Okay, that's going to go on this day. This day I'm going to promote. I'm going to make an offer. I'm going to position the post to where it's inviting the reader to take an action, either with me, with the business, with the post, go to the website, whatever it is. That's more of a promotional or call to action type post. This day I'm going to have a video post go out. So then I knew the days that I wanted them to post. I knew what I wanted it to be on that day. So I had everything planned, right? And I even sometimes on clients, I would take it a step deeper and be like, okay, this educational post is going to be about this service. This promotional post is going to be about this product that we have. And I got a little bit more specific. And I would do that for each of my clients. I would just have a planning session, right? And I'd plan everybody's content out for the month. And then when the planning session was over, then I would move into the vein of creating, and I would create all of the content one by one per client, right? And I would create all of the captions came first. That's just how I liked it at the time. I liked doing all captions for each one of the days, and I'd get all the captions done. And then when the captions were done, then I would move to graphics. Then I would pop over to Canva or go to a photo stock website, or go to the email that the client had sent me all of their photos that they had given me access to utilize. And I would post the photos, or I would create the graphics. Not post, I shouldn't say post, because that makes you think putting it out there on the internet. I would put those photos on a Google Doc or on a Google Sheet that I had turned into a calendar. And I'll show you all of this here in a minute. So then I would create everything for all of my clients. That's where the majority of my time went, right? Was the actual creation point, like taking the time to write the captions and design the graphics and find the photos. That took the bulk of the time. But then once everybody was created and I have the content saved on a Google Doc or on a Google Sheet, then I would take everything and I would go schedule it out. I would put it inside of a social media scheduler, and I prefer to use Facebook Creator Studio. It pushes all content to Facebook and Instagram, and it's a free platform powered by Facebook. But there's other schedulers out there like Later.com or Buffer or Hootsuite or Planoly or all these different schedulers that will also push the content to Facebook and Instagram, but it'll also post it to LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever other social media platforms you want to post your content out to. And so I would just copy and paste, and then I would put it in the scheduler, assign the date and the time that I want it to go, and then it was done. And I began to work that system every single month. And I was able to get all by about month 3, I would say 3 or 4. It was by the end of the summer of 2019, beginning of the fall, that I began to be able to get all 9 of my clients' social media content planned, all of them. And they each had at least 15 to 20 posts a month. Okay. So quick math for you. 9 clients times 15 posts, that's 135 pieces of content. It's 135 captions, 135 graphics, different for each one, right? Nothing was transposed or brought over from others. Everything was freshly created, 135 pieces of content created. And I was able to plan, create, and schedule everything out in less than about 14 hours a month. 14 divided by 9. It's about 1.5 hours. I was able to get all of my clients, all of their work done. And I would say 2 hours. Let's say 2 hours just to be fair, because I got a system in place and then I began to perfect that system. Now I knew how to write captions. I knew how to create graphics, right? So that skill, that didn't take me as long to do those things because I knew what I was doing specifically. So that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of this training. If you're just beginning to write captions or you're just beginning to create graphics for yourself, your time, there may be more time put into your content because you're also having to work through learning curves and thinking through what to create, right? So I get that. But I was able to do, and I track this. If you want to fact check me on this, I track my time on everything that I do for all of my clients. And the max time that I would spend on each client then would be between all of their social media management. So that includes content creation and then just monitoring their profiles over the month. I would clock usually 3 to 3.5 hours a month, maybe 4, depending on the size of the following that the client had, because I'd have to really monitor a lot of different stuff. 3 to 4 hours a month was all that I spent with each one of my clients. That's really good. I was able to take a 40 to 50 hour work week as a social media manager and pull it down to a few hours a week, a few hours a month per client. And it changed everything. I began to find myself working less than 15 hours a week in my business. Or if I decided to work, up to 20, then I was able to have that time, that extra time available to do other things in my business. And that's where I got the ideas of like, I can teach this. Like, I can teach this to other people. I can teach what I know. And that's when I said, I'm going to create courses. And if you know me, I have courses that teach this process, that teach social media management philosophy as in a whole. I started different membership communities, and I was able to buy back some of my time because I got systems and processes in place to buy, to be more efficient with my work, so then I could reinvest that time into other areas of my business, which has been able to create more streams of revenue, more streams of income. And therefore I've been able to find myself even having more time the more passive and ongoing income I'm able to create through memberships or courses or whatever the case is, the more income that goes up, the less I have to put into my business from a time perspective to earn income, right? Now, again, that's in my business as a social media agency. How can that apply to you in your business, right? Whatever business you have, whether you're a social media marketer yourself, or whether you're a financial advisor or a roofing company or whatever you may be, you have areas in your business that need more of your time, energy, and attention. But because there's little things that are sucking a lot of your time away, you don't have the capacity to invest in the ideas that you want to invest into that could maybe create more residual income for you, or spending time with the employees that you know you need to spend time with to train them better, you know. And so my goal here, and the system that I want to give you access to and teach you on today, is going to free up time so that you can put more time into the areas of your business that are going to prove to have a higher return on investment, or just give you time to do more of what it is that you want to do in your life. How about that? I want to teach you how to get more of your time back. That's the whole point of this, right? Because social media content doesn't have to be a huge time suck. Social media management for your business doesn't have to be something you dread. It can be something that is done in a few hours in a month. You can have confidence in it because you're working a system that is proven to help you be successful with creating social media. So that's the backstory. That's the setup. So let's dive in, right? Let me share my screen with you guys, and we're going to walk through a couple of different things that I want to show you. So let's start here. Let's start with talking about what is that 3-step system. So as I was telling you my story in the background, right, on how I came up with this system, I walked you through planning, creating, and scheduling. So we're going to walk through each one of these steps, and I'm going to dive a little bit deeper to kind of give you some hands-on training. So first and foremost, you need to plan out your content, right? Planning out your content provides you the ability to just operate in that planning aspect of your mind, the part of your mind that's not creation, it's not creative. You know, you're not worrying about tapping into the creative part of your brain. You're kind of more in the analytical part of your brain, where you're able to look at the whole month and just kind of see, where do you need to put dates on the calendar? What type of post do you need to go out? Now, I preferred to use Google Sheets as my planning tool, and just kind of schedule out dates. But I do know that some people like a paper calendar. Some folks like to keep things all digital, and they like to use tools like Trello. Whatever you like to use from a planning standpoint, that's up to you. I'm going to walk you through what's worked for me. And you're free to get access to copying. I mean, please copy away. That's the whole point of this training. Do whatever you need to do to help yourself. But when you plan out your content using a Google Sheet, I'll just pull up one of my old clients as an example. I would map out in a Google Sheet what was the entire month, you know, make it look like a calendar. What were the type of posts that I needed to have go out, and what were the days of the week that I wanted their content to go out, right? And I personally would just use these little icons that I created. I'm more of a visual person, so then I could see the type of posts that were going out and on what days specifically, what was the topic, right? So this was just my planning phase, okay? And then this was nice too, because then I could see, am I hitting the days that, you know, me and the client agreed to? Am I missing anything? Do I have too much of one type of post or not enough of the other? So this just gave me that really nice visual of, man, okay, I see everything here, point blank. This is what we're doing. The planning process, really, when you're looking at your month ahead, the planning process should not take you longer than 10 minutes. It's just a matter of looking at a calendar. What dates do you want to have posts go out, and then deciding what type of post do you want for those days. Maybe give yourself 15 minutes top, just to have a little bit of leniency. But if it takes you longer than 15 minutes to plan out what days of the week you're going to have posts go out and what type of posts they're going to be, you're overthinking it, and you don't need to overthink it. This was another client, a very simple example. I talked to her about, we were going to do 3 to 4 posts a week. And I just kind of round robined the days of the week that we were going to have her content go out. She specifically was a new business, so we didn't know what her audience's behaviors were like online, like what days of the week are they most likely to be on, what times of day. So we needed to just get content going to figure out what her audience's online behaviors were going to be. So we kind of made things a little bit random, but you notice there was a Thursday always had content, because at this time when I was working with this client in 2020, Thursdays were a hot day based on all the research that I had done, all of the different articles I had read about the number one day on social media at the time during 2020 happened to be Thursday. So I said, okay, we're for sure going to have a post every Thursday. But yeah, so you can see I would have an educational post, promotional post, engagement post, right? And then I would just plan out the entire month, and then I would move on to the next client. So for you, as you're planning out your content, you can do it in a Google Sheet. You can print off like a blank calendar and just mark those dates off. Again, some folks like to use Trello, which is it's like an online a planning tool, if you will, or an organizing tool. It kind of looks like a digital filing cabinet. I'm not going to do a training on Trello. I have a training on Trello actually inside of my course that this program's attached to, but I'm not going to do that here. But yeah, so the whole concept is plan it out, see it visually first. Okay. Make sure that you make note of any, specific holidays, right? Make sure that you're aware of, national holidays, fun holidays, that could be relevant to your business. And I would make sure at a minimum that you're putting at least 4 to 5 posts per week out. Okay. So plan out all of your content. And then the next step is going and creating the content, right? This is where, once you have everything with your preferred planning tool, whether it's a Google Sheet or Trello or a piece of paper, then you need to go and create the actual content. Now, I personally like to use Google Docs. You could use Word, you could use anything. But I like to kind of put it in this format where I list out, the date that the post is going to go live. What is the caption going to be? And then I will, eventually after I've done the caption, then I'll go create the graphics and I'll bring a preview of it back here, like a screenshot, or I'll just upload the picture that I created here. So now I've got a running list of what it is that I'm creating, right? So again, caption, graphic, caption, graphic, and so on. But I will do just all of the captions first. I can show you an example of one that I'm currently working on for the month of May for a client. And so all of the captions are done. Okay. All done here. And all that needs to be done next is going in and creating the graphics. So I'm able to operate in more of my writing part of my brain, or just operating in a vein that is writing. And it may sound silly, like, why can't I just do the caption, do the graphic, do the caption, do the graphic? You can do that. There's nothing against that at all. And I think for me, it just made things a little bit slower to go from a writing mindset to a graphics mindset. That was just me. But if it works for you to create a caption and create a graphic, by all means, do it that way. But I have found that just being in a writing mindset, getting that done. All right, that's done. Now let me get into a creative graphics aspect. Then I get that done. And it's more kind of compartmentalizing the two skills there. So then I keep it all in a Google Doc so that I'm able to also reference back to it in the future, because it lives on my Google Drive. I'm able to, reference back to it to maybe get different ideas for content that I want to maybe repurpose, or I can see that what I wrote when I wrote it, so I don't duplicate the same thing too soon. And then when I have it here inside of the Google Doc, then I'm able to take it and I'm able to copy and paste and upload that content to a scheduling tool. Okay. And a scheduling tool, like I mentioned earlier, you could use anything from, Facebook Creator Studio, later.com. Okay. You could use Later. Buffer is another one that you could potentially use to schedule out your content. I personally, like, if I'm just doing content on Facebook and Instagram, I like to use Facebook's Creator Studio because it's free. Okay. It is April 2022 at the time of this recording, and as much money as we can save these days, let's do that, right? But I like it because Facebook Creator Studio provides you the ability to, you can create a new post right from the dashboard. You can look at any notifications that you need to, and that could be like people commenting on past posts or recommendations that Facebook wants to make for you to be a better business page. Insights, I can look at performance of my pages all in one place, performance of my posts. I can kind of measure to see how well things are doing. I'm able to schedule out and kind of see what I have scheduled out for the month. And I can either look at it in a table view, or I can look at it in a calendar view, so I can kind of see everything clearly. You can also go back and see what you've created and when, what times you posted. Also, so the same thing you can do in the published screen. I don't do much with file management. So that would be if I had any specific like video clips or assets, meaning like graphics or photos that I just wanted to keep inside of Facebook that I could just repurpose. There's more tools inside of here. A lot of stuff around ad generation, and then you have your content library, which is like post testing, stories. And so lots and lots of different tools, all for free here inside of Facebook Creator Studio. And that helps you with Facebook and Instagram. So you can toggle back and forth. And so same thing, you can see your calendar, insights, monetization if you're monetizing any of your content, and so on. So that's the benefits of Creator Studio. It's free, it's all in one place. Here's something that's really cool too. As you're creating a piece of content and you're scheduling it out, right? Let me walk you through how to do that with Facebook Creator Studio. So you just click on the Create New button, and you can choose Create a Post, Create Test, Post Tests, which you don't really need to do a whole lot of that unless you're going to do like A/B testing to see which ones work better. You could create a story post here. You could upload one video, multiple videos. You could go live. You can post a video that goes across multiple pages that you manage. Well, let's just keep it simple and go with Create Post. Okay. I got to choose the account that I'm going to do. I'm just going to say it's mine. And creating this post, this is where you write your caption, and you can add any hashtags here, right? So what you would do is you would come over to your Google Doc and you would just copy it, bring it back over, paste it in, right? Do a last final check for any spelling. And then you would come down here and you can click on media, and you could either upload a photo, video. And so I'm going to hit photo, and I'm just going to choose a random post here, graphic. And you can add a location if you want to. If you have like a brick and mortar type business, I would recommend doing that. But then you're able to preview the post over here on the right-hand side. What's it look like on the desktop? What's it going to look like on someone's mobile device? Okay, cool, right? Like now you can see what it's going to actually look like. And then to schedule it, if you were to hit publish, it would go live now. But if you wanted to schedule it, you click this little drop down arrow, and you can just say save it as a draft, which does nothing but just saves it inside of Creator Studio. You could backdate it, meaning if you wanted to have a post that you forgot to post a few days ago and you needed it to be, like let's say you forgot to put your Merry Christmas post out there, right? Shoot, forgot to say Merry Christmas on Christmas. Darn it. All right, let me go make a post real quick and backdate it. I don't use backdating very often at all. But then you could also do just the scheduling post, right? You choose your date, you choose your time, and then you hit save, and then it saves it for you. So let's go ahead and do a quick sample. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to say schedule the post, right? And then I actually did that to my business page. So let me go over there so I can show you. Now you can see under the pre-published page, the pre-published screen, I'm able to see that post that I scheduled out. I can edit it, I can preview it, I can also reschedule it. I can also delete it, publish, cancel, cross-post to Instagram. Okay, so all of that is done there. Now, if I wanted to do it on Instagram, it's very similar process. Create post. What am I going to create? An Instagram feed or an Instagram video? Side note, yes, you cannot post to stories inside of Creator Studio. Okay, but you can see analytics based on your stories inside of Creator Studio. You cannot post reels from Creator Studios. Those would have to be done manually through the app. But for Instagram feed and Instagram video, you can absolutely do it here. So same thing, Instagram feed, I'm just going to choose that, choose my profile, paste in my content, add my location if I want to. And then here I'm going to click add content, upload the file. Down here, I'm going to get to see the picture preview, no feed preview on Instagram. I do have the ability here to click this box if I want to post it to Facebook. I would just need to make sure if I'm going to schedule it that I choose the scheduling option. Okay. And then over here in the bottom right-hand corner, again, schedule it for Instagram. And then I would just say schedule. So just a little tip, side note, if I'm going to be using Creator Studio and I'm going to be posting content both on Facebook and Instagram, what I like to do instead of posting it here on Facebook, I like to operate from the Instagram screen and do the create post and then do what I just did where I selected this box because it'll push it to both places. When I do it under the Instagram screen, or excuse me, the Facebook screen, it doesn't have that option to cross post to Instagram for a scheduled post. Okay. So it's kind of one way. It's kind of silly that they don't have that set up yet, but it's okay because your workaround would be going from Instagram to Facebook. Okay. So then it's scheduled on Instagram. You're able to look at your calendar and see what you have scheduled out. And you can see that I have something scheduled out here on Instagram for today because I just made that. So that's Creator Studio. Facebook does do a really good job of providing video trainings on how to utilize their platform. So if you have more questions on navigating that, dive in here, dive into Facebook's free video tutorials that they have, but that's a platform that I use for sure. Later.com, again, very similar in the concept of being able to upload your content and get it scheduled out. This is a client that I'm currently working with. We've got her set up with Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And so her content goes out to all three places. What's nice is, being able to have everything go out, like being able to schedule it all out at the same time instead of having to go to Facebook, upload it, go to Instagram, upload it, go to LinkedIn. You can schedule everything out ahead of time and it saves you so much future time. So you can see for me and for this client, we've got posts scheduled this Saturday and Monday and Wednesday next week. And then I'll be creating more content today and tomorrow that's going to take care of Thursday through the following week. And we're able to work ahead, which is awesome. She's got a podcast and it goes live every Monday. So I can't work too far ahead because I'm pulling content from the previous week's podcast release. But here it's this process. They have video tutorials, by the way, also, on how to leverage their platform. I do believe that later.com is a paid subscription. I don't have pricing, but you can go to their website and check that out. But it's very similar in the sense that you grab the content that you're going to post, you upload it to your media library, which is what we're seeing here. And when you click on that piece of content, you can preview it. But once you drag that piece of content over to a date and a time that you want it to go, it's going to prompt you to begin to put your caption in there. What emojis do you want to use, if any at all? Saved captions, which I use saved captions for hashtags saving. You can edit the video in there, like trim it on the front or on the back. You can choose a specific, thumbnail, cover video. And then up here is where you can schedule it out in advance. And when you do it this way, it's going to say customize to post. So then it's going to give you the ability to, before you save it, change any settings for specifically the Instagram side or specifically the Facebook side. So you cannot upload videos to LinkedIn from later.com at this time. So that's why it's saying that for LinkedIn. But that's a quick preview on later.com. Buffer, another platform that I utilize. And again, very similar, creating a post, uploading the graphic that you want to use, inserting in your caption, and then you can add it to the queue, which means it's just going to put it in the next available spot that Buffer thinks it should go live. I never use the queue option. I always schedule the post out in advance for a specific date and a specific time. And once you've done that, and here in Buffer, you're able to look at your week ahead by scrolling down in the table format. You can look at it based on a week's calendar or a month's calendar as well. So those are the three main scheduling platforms that I recommend. And again, with scheduling content out, it just gives you that ability to work ahead as much as possible. Okay, so let's recap. What have we covered here? We've covered talking about how it is important with this 3-step content creation system. You operate in the vein of your planning mode first. You plan out what dates you're going to have content go out and what type of content those will be. Then you move into the creative phase where you're writing your captions, you're creating your graphics, you're saving that in some type of a Google Doc or a Word doc or somewhere that you can reference back to that content later. So it's easy to copy and to paste over. And then you are scheduling that content out. Okay, that is the 3-step system. When you get that system rolling and you get used to that flow and that routine, all that your focus then has to be is improving your skills of creating graphics quicker and then getting more efficient with the content that you're writing for your captions. Okay. Now, some things that I have been asked from people in the past is, why don't you just do the creation phase inside of your Facebook Creator Studio? Why don't you write the captions while you're in Creator Studio, schedule those all out, then go make the graphics and then come back and upload them? I've not tried that. To me, that just sounds like it's going to take too long. It kind of goes back and forth between the creation phase and the scheduling phase, right? I've also had people ask me, what if I don't know specifically what to post, right? Like, I know I want it to be an educational or informative post, but I don't even know where to begin to write. Okay, well, because you signed up for this training today, and because you are a part of Social Squad as one of my monthly members, which, by the way, to be a monthly member inside of Social Squad, you get access to a masterclass training just like this one specifically, actually, for free with your membership. So that happens at the last Wednesday of every month. So you get a free masterclass training. Plus, at the beginning of every month, so the second Wednesday of every month, we do a live Q&A call. And that live Q&A call gives you the ability to come into a Zoom room with me and the other members and ask questions, get feedback on what it is that you're doing with your social media. And you get my eyes, my ears, my brain for an entire hour. And there's no limitations on what we cover. Plus, with that membership, you get access to all of the courses that I've created. There's over $1,000 worth of online courses in the social media realm available in my library that, as long as you're an active member, you get access to them. Crazy, right? So that's the monthly membership. So if you're here today and you just signed up for the masterclass training, or if you're a member, you're going to get access to 2 new resources that I have, and that should help you with coming up with ideas for creating content. Okay. They're primarily around the Instagram story ideas. So let me share those with you really quickly. But I've come up with about 100, yeah, I'd say like 100. Yeah, it is 170 story ideas. These story ideas could also be used for feed post ideas. So you could take the same topic and just write it as your captions. But 170 different Instagram story ideas. So you have like get to know me and my business, a lot of prompts for that. Conversation starters, so getting people to engage back with you, or creating a post based on getting to know people better. That's more of an engagement type post. Asking questions, keeping it light, keeping it fun. Talking about business tips and tricks, right? And you could obviously tweak this list to adjust to you and your business. But here's an example. My favorite business books are, or I took a course from this person and it helped me so much with this in my business. What type of courses have you taken? Or just sharing tips as a business owner, right? Lots of ideas and prompts there. This is a whole section on like kind of how do you generate maybe some leads, right? So there's 170 posts total there. Ideas. So you get access to that. That's going to come to you in an email following today's training with the copy of the recording of this as well. The other one that I have is story poll ideas, right? So Instagram story polls, which again can be used for your feeds as well. So there's a bunch of ideas here as well. I think there's close to 50. Yep, there's 50. So you'll get access to that. But another thing that you're going to get access to is this document here, which is 60 content post ideas that are specifically categorized by, are they educational, are they engagement focused, or are they promotional focused? Okay. And then a few different resources that I like to use for like fun holidays and things like that. So if you have like, okay, Danielle, this is all great. You know, I'm pretty confident in planning, you know, I feel pretty good about scheduling, you know, that's just a matter of copy pasting and deciding, you know, putting the date and time out there. But man, where I really, really get hung up is the creation phase, right? What do I write about? Where do I create my graphics? Well, those prompts, those writing prompts should help you tremendously. You know, I do recommend that, you know, if you're going to create graphics, use Canva. Canva is a great, great online tool that a lot of people from all different walks of life really are able to use to create some pretty slick graphics. And what's nice is there's a lot of templates in here too that Canva has pre-designed, pre-created, that you can just go in and adjust and edit to fit your company's colors, your company's fonts, but they give you things that you can just use as templates and then just convert it to match your branding. But lots and lots of different things that you can use in here. I recommend that for people to do graphics. We're just uploading your own business photos. But that is also another area that inside of Social Squad, as one of my members, you get the ability to bounce ideas off of me, ask questions about how does this caption sound, right? Or what do you think about these graphics? Do you have any feedback? Like that's the kind of coaching that you get inside of that membership community. And so with that, we are done for today's training as far as going through the 3-step system. I do hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you feel more confident in what type of process that you can utilize to buy more of your time back in your business, especially in the area of social media content creation. But as always, if you have questions or you have feedback, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm very active on my social media, it's me on there, you know, it's me and Sterling often nowadays, but feel free to reach out. I'd love to see you inside of the Social Squad monthly program. If that's something that you're interested in, obviously you can reach out to me and we can talk about if that's a good fit. But again, thank you guys so much for showing up live today. Hopefully this has been helpful, beneficial to you. You have homework. get to planning, get to creating, and get to scheduling out your content and saving some of your time. So God bless, and we will talk to you soon.